Hey, Kirsten. Because there's 2 meetings going on. There's a back parking lot. It's at the same time.
I've ever circled this parking lot so many times in my life.
Right. And I should have hung, there's a closet back there.
I know, I should have thrown it.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I'm parked like over there. I'm just like rolling up and parking.
Yeah, right.
Sit wherever.
Hi, Kinga. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What are we missing? We're just missing one person because Gorski. Gorski's on
Gotta get that C in there.
the Kiak.
How are you? Good. How are you doing? Hi, sweetie. How are you today? Hi, Kika. How are you? Good. How are you? Yeah. Good to see you. Nice to see you. Go around. Can I sit here?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we have no name tags right now, so we can sit wherever. Who's the last person we're missing?
Hi, Kinga. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Dave. Hi, Kinga. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Jerry.
Nice to meet you, Jerry.
Just wait.
Oh, yeah.
Amy. There's another meeting going on upstairs, so we usually don't have that.
Normally, you can just roll right in.
Normally,
and
you
get
just pull
to
right in.
park, Not get cut off 3 times from a parking spot. I was like, whoa.
I just like it goes on the street.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I parked it illegally at the fire barn.
Ready, Freddy's? All right, I'd like to call to order the first meeting of our new Community and Economic Affairs Commission taking place of the EDC on November 10th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Could we please call the roll?
Chairperson Stephanie Gandsey,
Here.
Kirsten Erickson. Here. Jerry Cabasco,
Here.
Bruce Suffern, Mike Densford,
Here.
Peggy O'Hare. Robert Gorski is not present. Amy Tulaski, Dave Weatherton.
Here.
I'm going to get this right. Kinga Scotts,
Shkotek. Shkotek.
you're here.
Here.
Blake Koch, is it Koch? Coach, okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Do we have any public comment? Doesn't look like it. All right, so we'll move on to introductions. And first things first, I know for some of you it's your first time sitting up here, there is a button on your microphone. Just make sure that's green because everything is recorded and then saved to our website afterwards. So you can go back and listen to yourself afterwards. So we'll start with introductions. I'd like to introduce the village staff first. So we want to start with.
I'm Paula Schumacher. I'm the village administrator.
My name's Tony Frayden. I'm the Economic Development Coordinator for the village.
I'm Richie Lucas. I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator.
My name is Scott Skirky. I'm the Assistant Village Administrator.
We could start at that end with Dave.
I am Dave Weatherton, village resident since 1971. First time actually formally being on a commission, so I'm looking forward to a lot of.
And why don't you give a little bit of background on what else that you do in the community?
You mean career-wise? So
I meant like even with Marion Bright, I'd like, I think
some
all
people.
of us on here are very active in the community, so if there's anything we can add with things that you might have done.
Sure, I've been involved with the Bartlett Lions Club for a long period of time. I've chaired several of their committees with the golf committee and what we call Operation Santa Claus, which dovetails into the Marion Bright program. I play a role there, but I'm not saying out loud who it might be. I don't want to give it away if there's any children listening. I've been in the town for a long time. I've been involved with a lot of different events through, the Oktoberfest, and I'm involved in my church. I'm a charter member of Living Lord Lutheran Church, and been a member there since I was a kid. I grew up in Bartlett. 1971 was when my parents moved in here. Went to Bartlett High School, lived in Bartlett my whole life. After college, came back, lived over in the Apple Tree area. And I've been in the area right off of Main Street and Shady Lane since 1996. And I've been involved with a lot of other different organizations within the Chicagoland area, working with food depositories and other commissions. So.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jerry Cavasco. I grew up in Chicago, moved to Bartlett after getting out of the military, about 3 years after I got out of the military. Been in here since 1972. Mayor Tickness asked me to become if I was interested in becoming a Economic Development Commissioner, and I guess around 1977, 78, something like that. And been on the commission ever since. Overseen a lot of changes in Bartlett over the years since I've been here. There were only about a little under 5,000 people when I moved here. And seen a lot of changes go on. And just kind of happy to be on the commission again and see what more good we can do for the village.
Perfect, thank you.
My name is Blake Cook. I've lived in Bartlett for just about 4 years now. I guess I'm the newbie in town compared to everybody else. I was in the logistics field for about 15 years. Owned my own company for 10 of those, and then sold it off last January. I'm also on the 4th of July Commission. So I'm trying to expand my involvement in the community here with the Community Affairs and Economic Development, and trying to do what's best for Bartlett as well.
Mike Densford, I was on the EDC previously. Pretty much involved a lot with like youth sports in town. I coach football. I used to coach wrestling, baseball. I own a small business here in town, so I get to get really in with the fellow Bartletters. Do we have a term for that? Bartletter? Bartletters, yeah. Yeah, I think that's what I kind of bring to the table, just I get to hear everybody's first opinion on what's going on around town.
And a member of Oktoberfest Committee.
Yes, I got into that. I have to respond to the email for our meeting this week. Yeah, I mean, if anything to help the town and make it more fun, it's awesome. I love it here.
I'm Amy Tolosky. I've owned my own home in Bartlett since 2010. I grew up in Bartlett and lived other places, and then 2010 I bought my own house in Bartlett. I've never been on a committee before, but I've spoken in front of the board, which may have caught some attention, and I don't know, I look forward to doing things for Bartlett, making Bartlett better.
My name is Kinga Škotak. I came to USA 2017, and I live in Bartlett since 2022. I own the beauty salon in Bartlett since 2024. What's more? I wanted to say so much, but now I'm like...
Where are you from? We'll all get to know each other.
I'm from Poland. I was born in Poland. So for me, I love Bartlett. It's amazing community here. And I think we can grow a lot, especially together. I think we don't have any limit. And we can achieve wherever we want together. So I can't wait to work together.
I'm Kirsten Erickson. I might do one or two things in this village every once in a while. I've been on the EDC for quite a while. I was off, and I came back, and here I still am again. I'm currently the chairman of the board of the Chamber of Commerce. I sit on the Park District Foundation, and I also sit on the foundation for Hanover Township. So there's pretty much not an area of Bartlett that I don't know a little something about, and I'm very passionate about our TIF district and everything that we do in EDC, and you know, our fabulous four that's sitting over there who leads us fearlessly. So I'm kind of a sucker for helping out.
Yes, you are. My name is Bruce Suffern. My wife and I moved to Bartlett in 1980. We started Banbury Fair in 1983 and raised our 3 children here, and kind of was a bit of a linchpin for the downtown, to promote the downtown for many decades, when the downtown was a couple of bars and the hardware store. So we started off with a street dance back in 1986. We had Bonanza Days in downtown Bartlett for a while because of the opening of the Cadillac Ranch, kind of piggybacked on that. At Banbury Fest for many years, Banbury Fest became Heritage Days. So with the Arts in Bartlett, we kind of partnered to have Heritage Days, which was a flea market, craft show, and dance. That kind of ended with the pandemic. Been involved with the Park District over the many years, and my church. Really love the town, love the downtown, love seeing the transition of the downtown into a real viable business district, but really see the need for events to draw people into the downtown, because people buy now on the internet and they have less reason to come downtown unless they're just dining someplace. So have a big interest in events.
Thank you.
I'm Peggy O'Hare, former business owner in Bartlett for 12 years. I moved here in 2013 from Michigan. I actually grew up in Dearborn, Michigan, which many people know about that now. But I came here in 2013 because my family was here, and I had 2 beautiful grandsons. Although I'm not a business owner now, I was very involved with the chamber before and love the chamber and everything that we do and everything to promote the area. So now I am working with the chamber on a membership coordinator position to have people join Bartlett and participate in Bartlett, not just join. We're looking for participation. So I love it here. I will be here as long as my grandkids are here. So that's it.
Thank you. And just quickly, I know all of you previously. So Stephanie Gandsey, been in Bartlett for 16 years. Started on the Economic Development Commission before running for the village board. First I was appointed, and then I ran for the village board. Professionally, I have a marketing and communication background. I've worked in private companies, public libraries, accounting firms. And I do leadership training and consulting, and I basically do that professionally so I can fund what I really love to do, which is public service. So I love being involved in the village, just as all of you, and that's the reason we're all here and why Mayor Gandsey appointed everyone on this commission, because we love this community and we know that we want to spread our joy that we have living in Bartlett to the entire community. So thanks for coming today. I'm going to turn it over to Administrator Schumacher to go over a few things.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank all of you for your willingness to serve on this new commission. Each of you were selected for your own unique experiences and the perspective that you bring to this commission. And it's by bringing those individual perspectives together in consensus is how you will bring your viewpoints, your input, and your recommendations to the village board for consideration. I know most of you personally, and those of you that I don't know, I'm looking forward to getting to know better. The expectation for all of our boards and commission members is that you will take your duties seriously, that you will read your packet. Let me say that again. You will read your packet, because we send it to you, and these guys spend a lot of time putting that information together, and that is the basis of your discussions and your decision making. I was going to get t-shirts that say, I read the packet, and hand them out to people who come prepared. But that's an important part of being on this commission, is being prepared, asking questions, come ready to ask those questions. Staff is here to answer them. You know, if you're reading your packet early and there's something that you don't understand or you have a question about, please email, call. We're happy to answer those questions. And the last thing is that you treat each other with respect, and you treat those that come to you courteously and with the respect. And I know that you wouldn't be selected to serve on a village commission if you didn't already have that as a base part of who you are. My role as village administrator and that of our staff is to manage the day-to-day operations of the village, but also to forward the goals set out by the village board. And you'll learn a lot about that in the next coming months. We're in the process of approving a new strategic plan, but I will tell you many of those goals and targets focus on economic development and community engagement. So you will be a big part of enacting that new strategic plan. I look forward to working with all of you, and Tony and Richie and Scott are the folks who are going to staff this commission. So I'm just here for fun for the first night to welcome you. And you may not see all three of them every meeting because your agendas are going to be pretty fluid. So there might be a night that it's going to be economic development heavy and you'll see Tony, or a night that's going to be community event heavy and you'll see Richie, or communication heavy and that'll be Richie, and Scott will keep us all organized for sure. That's all I have to say. I know Stephanie has kind of an overview presentation for the role of the committee and how it fits into everything that we do.
Sure. A quick question. I know there was an email with the Open Meetings Act training. Did that go out to everybody?
Yeah, it does. You will be getting a letter with a link that will take you to the Attorney General's office and their online tutorial for the Open Meetings Act. It is just some of the requirements that, as being a public entity and a public board, it does restrict some of your communications and some of the meeting requirements that you have. It also has some more, I will say, logistical requirements that we're responsible for. Posting minutes, posting agendas, making sure that those meetings are noticed correctly. You guys aren't allowed to meet in a group of more than 3 and talk about business, so don't talk about village business, you know, when you're all together, and not in a forum. And also, I think the one that I think kind of catches people is if you're on an email string and you hit reply all, you can't do that because that's a violation of the Open Meetings Act. And then there's a whole bunch of other things that you're going to learn when you do that training, but we'll send you a letter that has that link.
Perfect, thank you. All right, so just going to give a little overview. So some of you were on the EDC, and you're probably like, oh, okay, what's different about this? So like Paula said, our board put together a strategic plan, and we obviously want development, but we want a lot of engagement with the community. So combining both of those into this commission, not that we weren't doing a lot of great things to engage with the community before, but we wanted to make sure that this commission had a focus on both of those areas and how they work together. So if you look at the sheet I put in front of you, we have community affairs at the top and economic development, and just showing like how each support each other. So if you think about community affairs, you probably all know of our the Belong in Bartlett campaign. So the EDC, that was one of the things that they helped support with the village staff and getting that together. So that was a process that we went through, focus groups, et cetera, to get that branding to help with communication for our village. So you can see then that helps support our economic development, because then we take that messaging, and Scott and Tony and Ricci and the rest of the staff take that messaging, and they're able to go to different trade shows, conferences, talk to different people to attract them to Bartlett for business owners and residents, right? And we're also able to use that with the events that we have. So, this committee will be a combination of all that. So it's not just bringing business in, it's not just working with business owners, and it's not just making sure our residents have the lifestyle that they expect and enjoy here. It's putting all of those things together and building that brand of Bartlett to make sure that we are moving forward. That being said, economic development does support the community affairs part, and that's where I feel the progress with pride comes in, right? So you might hear, with your time on this committee, you might hear from people saying, I like how Bartlett was, or I like how it is, I don't want it to change. We want to keep that same feeling of Bartlett. It's that progress with pride, and that's what we're here for. We know that if we don't make good changes, that things could also move backwards, right? So we're trying to move everything forward. So up here you can see we have the different events that the village supports. If you really think about it, there's almost an event or something going on almost every weekend in the summer, and now even like probably fall. There's something going on in Bartlett. We are going to overlook some of the communication. If people have different ideas of how to communicate. For instance, just a few years ago, we didn't even have a newsletter or an app, and now that's something that or a email newsletter. We've had the printed newsletter. So we keep kind of digging into the toolbox of how we can get messaging out for what's going on here and showing our brand. One of the biggest things that we have right now is the TIF, the Tax Increment Finance District along Lake Street. We can go into a whole discussion on what a TIF is if it's something you haven't heard of before. You can look up some things on that. But just know that the Lake Street TIF is going to be one of our big areas of focus, because there's 19 acres of property that the village has purchased in the last few months along that. All right, so there's going to be a focus group, is that the right word, Paula? With the outside?
Well, 19 acres is just a piece of that fabulous TIF on Lake Street. But the 19 acres specifically, the village owns, and we are beginning the process of putting together some development concepts for those 19 acres, and then we're going to do some community outreach to get the community's opinions on some basic ideas of how we would like that 19 acres to develop, and that will inform, when Scott and Tony go to ICSC or they speak to brokers, and we're getting that information out. We're going to build off of the plan that the community selects. So we're right in the process now of working to select the planning consultants that we want to use, and then once we have them selected, we'll ask them to meet with the board, and then they will take ideas from the board, because the board has had a lot of conversations about what they would like those 19 acres to look like. and they can put together a few different schemes, largely mixed use. I think all the schemes will be mixed use. And then we'll begin doing the push out to the public, and I think you'll have a big role in that.
Yeah, so for our meetings, a lot of this will come before us, and you read your packet beforehand and then come with input, and then that is then sent to the village board. And one of the reasons that I'm here now is we're really trying to make sure that there's the deep connection to the board. There's so much information flowing all the time that we're just trying to streamline that process, get it together so that we're always knowing all of the information before making decisions. So on the other side of your sheet, just some of the things for your role as a commissioner. So you're acting as an advisory capacity to the village board, offering input, right? So there's 7 of us on the village board. We can't be in every part of town. We have a good feeling. We're also very active in the community. We have a good feeling. But you are here to help bring up those different points, different viewpoints, different places you're at, people you're talking to, and your professional experience. We're hoping that you act as an advocate in the community, so when we do have all of the different PR things going on, please share that to all your social outlets, whether it's online or when you go places. We'd like to have you be kind of in that ambassador mode to our community to help get the word out. We'd also like you to be accessible to the community and listen. So if people know that you're on a commission, a lot of times you get kind of pulled aside and they want to talk about things, but we would like to have you listen and then bring that information if there's something that you can hear for that input. So we'll be reviewing reports as well, annual report, anything that comes before us, just like how the branding, they had 3 quotes that came in for the branding, and the EDC was the committee that took a look at all those and asked different questions, refined the estimates and whatnot. So things like that are going to happen. And then hopefully I stay up to date on trends. I know every time I go to another community, I'm looking to see what they're doing and what I like or what might be different or what I could envision for the future here. So just kind of staying up on those different trends. And then if you ever have any questions, please reach out to me or anyone at the village. There's so much information. I feel like if you really dive into our village website, you'll be amazed at how many different things are going on at once and the amount of the knowledge base that is on there of everything that has happened. So are there any questions with anything that you heard today? It's going to take a little bit of time to get used to everything. But I'm very excited and thankful to have all of you here. Yes,
Can I mention something? So I just posted after the last Monday something on social media, and I had a client because, of course, I'm working with the woman, and she was like, "Oh, do you think the village of Bartlett is nice?" I'm like, "They're very nice. Why are you asking?" Because I want to open coffee with the cocktail bar in Bartlett, but I don't know if they are nice to work with. I'm like, they're super nice. But I'm like, let me see how we can help you because it's something new for me. Basically, if someone gonna ask about some, let's say, new business, they're supposed to do what next?
So Tony is the person to reach out. He'll
Okay.
give you that concierge level support on what to do next, and I'll let Tony speak to that.
I get calls like that frequently over many years, ranging from all the way to the biggest ones like Rana, down to one-person operations like some of the smaller businesses. So there's different licenses, permits, zoning. We're there to answer any of those questions and to point people in the right direction, help them find a location. A lot of the time, sometimes it's not so easy to find the right location. So that's part of our role with the village, as Chairperson Gandsey said. So all that information's available, and we're happy to provide it.
Tony has a section on the website for, what do we call you, a new business concierge, small business concierge. So, that person can
Go there.
reach out through the website, can call Tony, can find us by just walking in. Lots of times people get Tony, just by coming into Village Hall and coming up to our counter. I've been remiss. We know all about you and all of your experience. We should probably give you some of ours. I came to the village about 32 years ago. I was the intern. The first thing I did as an intern, one of the first things I did as the intern was I was a staff person to the EDC commission so long ago. I worked down in the basement with the planning department and the building department for a couple of years. So they kindly exposed me to a lot of the operations of the village. I know I have worked in every department. I served as the assistant village administrator for a long time and served on the Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors for about 20 years. And I've been serving the role of village administrator for the past 8 years.
Yes, I've been with the village since 2005, so going on 20-plus years now. I had some years of previous economic development experience as well prior to that. So I've worked with a large majority of the businesses that are located here in town. All kinds of marketing over the years, print and emails and trade shows and walk-ins like Administrator Schumacher said. And we always strive to be business friendly and to be clear about our process. I was involved with the branding, RFPs, and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. One of these annual reports that's on here, I was going to mention later, comes up early in the year. So I'm also kind of a stats nerd, and I keep track of what's the going rents and what's available space and what's the inventory. Work with a lot of industrial businesses over the years. We're kind of wrapping that up. But do whatever really needs to be done to help the economic engine that is Bartlett keep on running.
I've been with the village for about 6 years. I started in IT and GIS, so my role has grown over the years with the village. I was on the Marion Bright Committee for about 3 to 4 years, really making the event maps and layouts like that. But I hope to bring some of my IT skills and GIS skills to this community engagement coordinator piece to kind of bring us to a new age, I guess. And I'm hoping to learn actually a lot about the administration side of things in the village because, like Stephanie, my passion is for public service as well. So I'm excited to see what I can do for the village in this new role.
I've started at the golf course about 25 years ago, and then I started here as an intern 17 years ago. I've worked with our economic development and communications and worked on all sorts of projects over the years, involved with civic groups and various committees like yourself. I grew up here, and it's a pleasure to be here with all of you. And like Stephanie and Paula said, like I've always said, it's an open book test. If you have any questions or need support, we're always here for you. And as the meetings go on and we start to build momentum, you're going to start to get a lot more information, and we're really excited.
I also like to throw out there that Paula, Tony, Scott, and Ricci all have degree. There's a master. 3 of them have the Masters of Public Administration. I know Ricci has a GIS, and what was the other degree?
I will be going for my MPA next year.
And getting her Master's in Public Administration. So it's a field study. They're highly educated and have been doing this a long time. So they have a lot of that background that we need to know. So like when we're bringing ideas, they could be like, okay, here's what worked, here's the research, here's what's been done before and how we can make this happen. And I could just say from experience that all the things that our village board has done over the last 5 years, these are the people that make it happen. Right? So really excited to have all of your ideas come here, and then we collaborate all together to move things forward. Right? So any other questions?
Yeah, I have one more.
Sure.
Because like I said, I'm working with the clients, so since they saw me on social media and the board, so they asking me if I can ask something. So they were asking about the Trader Joe and the Whole Foods in Bartlett.
Okay, yeah. Trader Joe's, I think that's the village's favorite word, right? We got an Aldi, come on, give us a break. That's my official response. What I think, for people that are new to the EDC, it would be really, really important for maybe Tony and Scott, if you could put together a couple of different links to the village website. There's so much information on there about the TIF and the background and the history about it. The TIF is going to be a hot button item. It's going to be something that you really want to know some information about to be able to speak to that, because there are a lot of questions about why did the village purchase this land, what are they going to do with it, how'd they get the money, all of those different types of things that as a commissioner, you really need to kind of be a little bit versed on or be able to go back to the village people. I mean, there is so much information on the website, so maybe if we just grab a couple of different links and share it with the new commissioners to kind of give you your homework, because it is read your packet before you come, not on your way in the door, because there is so much information, and a lot of times you'll find that you have a question and you can really just, oh, sorry. I just should put a lid on my waters. You should really reach out to Scott and Tony ahead of time, because generally they can start to answer that, or if you have that question, other people have that same question, you're going to find them the biggest plus in this committee.
In regards to Trader Joe's, though, there are certain demographics, information that companies will look for, like, so franchises like that will look for. So how much is the average family make? How many people? How many cars are passing by? You know, where is this located? So there's certain things like that. Even if we were to go ask and beg, there's certain data points that some of these places will say, no, that doesn't fit our business model for what we know is successful. So that, you know, that would stop it. And stop, correct me on anything if I'm wrong, but also too, questions I get all the time are, why don't you have this business here? Or why don't you, you know, allow this, you know, business to come in? Well, a lot of times there's special uses that have to be approved, but we don't, the village does not choose, like what businesses are coming in. Okay, so if there's something you've been hearing of, it's not us stopping it.
Well, a number of you own businesses. You know that when you're looking to cite your business, there's a whole set of criteria that you have, and does the village, you know, check those boxes? And there are some businesses, I always joke that Tony had a restraining order put on him by Trader Joe's and by Aldi because we hounded them, or more, I should say more likely, Tony hounded them for over a decade to come to town. And it was a perfect storm of we having the space designed, like the space allocated for them. They had, you know, the renovation of Streets of Bartlett. There was finally a location that was attracted to them. We shopped them, I don't know, God, millions of sites for them over the years. And when the village can match up their criteria, that's when we go to town. And I will say, Culver, and lots of times we kind of hear, oh, you know, Culver's wants to expand. They want to build so many stores in this region. And we will reach out to a company that's looking to expand. But I'll tell you, you know, when we met with Culver's, they were the first agency that I've ever been involved with that asked us for a map of churches, because location to churches was an important criteria for them. So you never really know what their sweet spot is and what they're looking for, really, until you get into the nitty-gritty and they're kind of interested. But Tony and Scott and our planning department, we take a lot of those meetings, and lots of times we're not the right community. We're not the right match. We don't have the right kind of demographic or the right kind of disposable income or the right kind of magazine subscriptions or the road access to the business isn't what they're looking for. So there are lots of things that can knock you out of the box. We have a layer of entry to the board, really, called a concept plan. And so to Stephanie's point, when we have businesses that like would sell liquor or want video gaming or have special requirements laid upon them for a special use or for a special license, additional license that they would need to get, we bring them to the board so that they could kind of present their concept and they can get some kind of no strings attached feedback from the board to decide whether or not they want to go through the expense of, designing the building and going through the engineering and talking to the various entities that they need to go through. Development, as you will learn, is not as easy as, hey, come on in and flip your shingle out. Bartlett is in 3 counties. We have jurisdiction with the town. There's overlapping jurisdiction with the township and the state of Illinois. And so sometimes it can get a little complicated. So when people say, hey, how come, you don't have X, Y, and Z? It could just be the time's not right. I remember several years ago, we did this exercise. What would you like to be able to buy in Bartlett? And I wanted to be able to buy a pair of shoes, and I wanted to be able to buy a car. And now we can buy a car.
So there will be a lot that you'll learn just because you'll be a sponge and you'll hear it. But if there's any questions that you might have, village staff, I'll make sure everyone has my phone number as well. So just keep asking questions, which just leads me to the last point that I wanted to make, that this is collaborative. And if you think of something that we could be doing, I want you to bring it up, okay? If you have an idea tonight, great. Think about it as you learn more. Please bring it up, all right? It's not going to help if we stay quiet, so we'll see if the idea fits. But that's what we're here for, to all collaborate together and keep moving forward. Amy, yeah.
So, where is the suggestion box for those 19 acres of what maybe could go there?
So we're working with consultants, and then we'll put together like open houses. Yeah. So there's not like a box right now, but there's going to be like a.
That because,
I guess.
and Ricci, you guys can talk about all the different ways that people can submit their ideas. We have lots of, we have a lot of virtual suggestion boxes.
We have our Go request, our app, but quite frankly, as a new commissioner of this new body, you have us. So if you have suggestions or comments, like Trustee Gandsey said, she'll be there for you, and so will staff. So your suggestions will be well received by us.
Let me know when I'm supposed to.
I'll give you my information right after this. I'll make sure everyone has my information, so you have my cell and my email.
I do have a question in that regard then. Is that what you prefer, just an email such to you? You don't want to do a copy of the group and both ends? Want to just, how do you want it to initiate?
Yeah, so again, with Open Meetings Act, you should just send it to me because we cannot do a reply all, okay? That will be in violation of the Open Meetings Act. Sometimes the village, they'll send us the group email. Do not hit reply all on that, okay?
Okay.
Just hit reply, and then we'll share information in the proper way.
If it's an idea like King has already mentioned for tonight, she had a client ask this, then that inquiry to begin with, if it can't be presented here quick enough, just send you an email.
Yeah, I mean, just, before the meeting, so we'll always have public comment and new business on the agenda. So public comment, if anyone wants to come and ask a question or speak about anything, and then any of us with new business, if there's something that come up, like, oh, hey, I saw,
So you want everything brought up here, would be the preference?
You can email it too. If you think of something, email it. So just so you know, like with our village board, a lot of times we'll get our packet, we have questions, we're emailing the village. There's a lot that goes on before we all come sit up here.
Okay.
Okay, you can call me and talk to me, right? Just like the village board, we'll call each other one-on-one, have conversations, have ideas, throw things around, share, that information.
Okay.
But it can't be you meeting with 4 of us and say, this is what I'm gonna push, okay? That is a violation of the Open Meetings Act. So you would have to, you can email it to me beforehand, we can get it onto the agenda then as well. If there's something you bring up, I'll work with Village, and we'll say, hey, we'd like to get this on the agenda for the December meeting. So that's how that will work.
I have one more question. Yes. Do we have access to the families more, like the most needed? Like say they don't have enough money or they struggle at some point, or we do not?
So that would probably be like an outside organization, like a Families in
I
Need?
was thinking more like,
Hanover Township and Wayne Township have those resources. In particular, Hanover Township has a ton of resources, whether it be the food bank or senior services or the lending closet. Wayne Township has a lot of similar services, and they're all available online.
because the Thanksgiving is coming, and I was thinking to looking for.
No, yeah, Thanksgiving is coming, and they are eagerly soliciting food boxes right now, because the need continues to grow like week after week, and then they also do the toy drive. And Wayne Township does similar, because as Paula mentioned, we're not just in Hanover Township, we're in Wayne Township as well. So
Okay.
both townships have those resources.
Okay, okay, thank you.
All right, any new business? Oh, I got something.
Hey, yeah, every November, I like to talk a little bit about something called Small Business Saturday. And this year, that falls on the Saturday after Thanksgiving on November 29th. And I mentioned earlier that early most years, January or February, I put together a pretty large report about economic indicators in the village. It helps us keep track. They say you can't improve on what you can't measure, so we like to measure our progress here. And what you'll see is that Bartlett is mostly comprised of small businesses. I like what Paula said earlier about the cross-section of people here on the EDC includes multiple small business owners. So you can attest to that in the shopping centers that you're in and downtown and the Banbury Fair in the middle of downtown for the last 4 decades. So some things that we're not, I always mentioned, is we're not a town that has huge shopping malls and lots of big box retailers. We have about 500 licensed businesses in the village, vast majority of which, besides some of the big ones in the business park, are mostly small businesses. So Small Business Saturday is like, encourages people to shop small local businesses in their community. We do some marketing on it. We use our social media to promote some of the small businesses. It's primarily retail in nature, but any business, barber shop, any business, a beauty salon could participate in it and encourage people to shop there, maybe do some kind of promotion, if you will. You don't have to, but it's something the village likes to promote, and we will be doing it. One statistic that is widely cited, if you Google it, it's been cited 1,000 times, that money spent with small local businesses, roughly 68 cents on a dollar recirculates through the community. You pay local employees, you buy your supplies maybe locally, whereas if you go out to a Best Buy in a shopping, on Gulf Road or something like that, then roughly 43 cents remains in the community. So it's just something I want to mention. We promote it to various degrees every year. We do it mostly through social media. We're going to work with REACH and GIS. We do a map that depicts the different small businesses to shop there that people can patronize on Small Business Saturday. And as members of this new commission, then we ask you also to promote it on your own, whether it's just talking about it with your friends and family or neighbors, or your own social media or your own business in that case. So again, Small Business Saturday, it's the Saturday following Black Friday that everybody knows about. It's November 29th this year. I'll be talking about it every November.
Tony, can I ask a question about that? When you guys put the map together, Kind of like the previous ones that we do when we do an extra call-out or put in bold or an asterisk to chamber members. Will that be done as well for chamber members for Small Business Saturday?
Yes, part of the form that the businesses will get will ask them if they're a chamber member, and it'll trigger it to highlight that they are a chamber member.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the last thing I want to bring up is that we'll have our Merry and Bright, the tree lighting, laser light show. That will happen before our next meeting. So when you see the different promotions, again, please help with sharing and promoting that.
Quick update on?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm just gonna click really quick to the village website.
While Ricci does that, a number of you are, in addition to being small business owners, are involved in our civic organizations. And many of you probably know that we do civic funding as part of our operating budget each year. And an application is submitted by the civic organization. It is request for funding, specific programs. This year, it has been asked that your committee review those civic funding requests before they are forwarded to the board. This particular year, it doesn't match up with our budget process, so we will budget for maximum requests, but you folks can give your input on where you think those different applications should be funded, and that'll be one of the first things that you do at your next meeting.
So I just want to bring your attention on our village website. If you go under About Bartlett, and then under the Belong on Bartlett campaign here, there's a community events page, and that's where you'll see the information for the Merry and Bright information. This is the graphic that the public library has graciously done for us, and we will share this all throughout the season. And then if you can see just right below that is a schedule of events, so you get more information. New this year, we're having a little mini stroll to the North Pole. It's a walking parade. We'll step off from West Bartlett Road, go down Oak and to the park, which really kicks up the tree lighting event. It goes straight into the tree lighting, actually. So we kind of switched the timeline for when we're going to light up the tree this year. So that kicks off at 4:45. And then goes right into tree lighting, and then we have the list of the confirmed food truck vendors for the night. And if you click it, it'll take you to their website, so that's a little promotion for their business. And then right below that is Cocoa Crawl, which is happening the next Saturday after the tree lighting event. Also clickable link, this takes you to the chamber website where people can register to participate in the Cocoa Crawl this year. This is our new mug. It's a red color this year. And then here's a little map to all of the participating businesses so far that have signed up. I think we're still pushing out for a couple more businesses to wrap up some of their holiday offerings and promotions so that they can participate and really draw people into their businesses for that day. Yeah, this is, and you'll see on our village Facebook page, we'll start doing the marketing strategy for really pushing out the details of Merry and Bright this year. Like if you saw last Saturday, we posted a little short clip of Santa getting ready for the season. You'll get little teasers like that every week now and leading up to the event. So that's something different that we're doing. And we're printing signs to put up around town.
Yeah, and when we talked about branding earlier with A5, we do have in our budget, we're pushing out, you'll see information about the holiday events via WGN, via the Sun Times Holiday Guide, as well as a few influencers that A5 is working with us on right now. A5 is our branding consultant, so those are the folks that you've seen help handle the We Belong campaign, and they also help handle some of these, spreading the word for some of these events, like our tree lighting.
Well, I'd like to applaud Merry and Bright. I love that event. I really do. Glad to see it's on a Saturday instead of a Friday. And I know there's lots of reasons for the timing, if it could be noon to 7:30, more daytime, and I know that doesn't work with your lighting the tree and laser show, but the Cocoa Crawl is great, and it's during the day. And the Halloween parade, the families they come out because it's during the day. And the businesses that are open during the day benefit because it's during the day. And so just keep in mind that when we have an event, if it can be daylight oriented in addition to evening, it would be a benefit to the businesses.
I love that feedback, and I was already looking at like Christmas market type stuff.
Yeah.
Don't worry. But one of the biggest additions this year, the laser light show, was something that came about because when we had a village survey, there was people that wanted more things that were also adult focused, not just kid focused. So we've been talking, and we're trying to get something that, you can't sit on Santa's lap anymore.
Sure.
Come to the laser light show at the end.
Yeah, no, I think it's great.
Where I grew up in Galena, and they also had a sidewalk sale, lighting of the tree at Christmas time and everything. So all the local businesses, would set up tables outside of their, local shops, so that everybody could walk around town, be more, familiar with the businesses. They could set up shop. It was all, the local downtown businesses, just to have more of the community involvement, before the tree lighting and everything, but as well the Merry and Bright thing. That's fantastic. The Stroll of Santa, I think that's one of the greatest ideas as well. But maybe next year something to think of would be have a business sale as well, the downtown area.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, these are the great kind of ideas that come out from your experiences that we're going to want to hear over time. So thank you.
Do we have an recording from previous years? How was it? Like, and recordings to do? I love
you can
social
listen.
media, so that's why I'm thinking to do it some like reel, so we can start doing kind of advertising how it was before.
Yeah, we actually do have that, and last year we used that.
Yeah, and we'll give you, after every year, we have actually a Marion Bright committee, Park District Library. So every year we evaluate how we did and how the show went. So you can certainly be a part of that evaluation as well.
That would be awesome, because then we can put something together and advertise on.
Yeah.
I love Instagram and TikTok, so
Yeah, that's-
usually there we can do a kind of collaboration how it was before.
Yeah, last year they had a great video. I think they just put one out this past weekend. So, yep.
Your GN radio piece that was done last year, You Belong in Bartlett featured part of it. That was a nice clip that showed people interacting in the park, and it was a bunch of the different events. That was done really well.
All right. Business? Can I have a motion to adjourn? It's adjourned. You also probably want to read Robert's Rules of Order. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I'll get all my information, and if you could shut off your microphone too, please.
Sometimes 2 and 3 hours, an hour meeting. It's great.
Oh, yeah, sometimes, depending on what the agenda is, sometimes generally 7 o'clock. I mean, an hour, hour 15, maybe at the latest. They don't usually last too long.
Given the amount of experience you've had on the committee and that, you probably worked with my father, Norm Weatherton.
Who?
Norm Weatherton and Jim Hallis. I know that's back in in the 80s.
Okay, yeah.
Norm and Jim were there.
Yeah. I've been on it so long that it's hard to remember the early, really members.
We talked about Mayor Tibbetts yesterday. He was the mayor there when I was a kid. And it's funny to talk about progress with Pride.
Yeah.
When that came about, I was still in school, and they had a contest with kids. The guys, Craig Gillum. I don't know if you remember Bob Gillum.
Erickson? Yeah, yeah. I was at Jensen for a little bit, and then I went back.